Hello everyone, this is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and what a day! Day two of Full House Siege, the first day of the main tournament, was amazing. Like wow, it was so fun to watch. I cleared my whole schedule and watched it. It was amazing, and so yeah, I had a lot of thoughts about the day so far, and so I kind of want to go over them. So there was a couple things here and there that were a little off. There was some production issues, like the feed sometimes would like cut out. It cut out multiple times throughout multiple different sets, only for like 10 seconds at a time. But then it would go like 1080p, no audio, and then it would go like 480p with audio, and it was like it's a little weird. Sometimes there'd be like freezes or something. I think they were trying to use a capture card instead of slippy mirroring. So that was a little distracting. I didn't really care that much because, like, ultimately, like, I saw 99% of the gameplay. It wasn't like last hit or anything, but yeah. And also there was no YouTube stream for the first set, which I mean I found it on Twitch, but I don't know. Like usually you have to have two different. I know it's like OBS or like two different starts for the stream. You can't just have the same like co-stream for both. Usually you have to manually do it. So I think they just forgot to go live on YouTube for the first one. It's okay. There were some commentators. I think it was like what, Toph, Homie Waffles, and Vish. Then later there would be like Stewed, and Ziff, and other people like Jaxilla, Chroma, Ipangu. And there'd be some other people. There was like I wish some of the commentators were a little bit more up to speed, because it's like I don't think it's cool to not keep up with the game. Like if you're trying to be like, hey, like please tell me, but it's like, oh, we're all here, we don't know, and they were kind of joking about it. Also, Junebug was there too, but it was like they're joking about like it's like, oh, look at me, I'm so busy, and it's like, but okay, like it's nice to be aware. Like I made a whole spreadsheet of all their head-to-heads, which um, production had some of those too. There were some different set counts. I don't know if they included everything, but generally it was just like not really knowing much about that, and like people like some people that are more in the know, like Kuro the Arbiter, the Ganon, was trying to tell them a little bit of stuff. And there were also a lot of people that were like specialists of the character that hopped on commentary. I think that was nice. Cody, I know he can be, sometimes people don't like him, but he was really good on commentary. He gave a lot of like critiques of other people, but also just talking about the game in a really specific way, and I think it was great. And like Stewed, he is familiar with Falcon and Luigi. Slice Me, and of course familiar with Luigi. There's also Hoborg, so all three of them are kind of the Luigi people. And there was a bit of a not really conflict, but it was like Stewed wanted to be on commentary for like the fourth spot for Wizrobe RapMonster, but then like Sauceman also wanted the spot, and so Stewed was like, "I'm big dogging you for this," and it was like, I feel like they both could have been on, and I don't know, like I understand there's like paid commentary spots or whatever, with like probably how they did it, but I feel like one of the other three of Jaxilla, Ipangu, and Chroma, maybe like Ipangu could have like gotten up and let both the Luigi like familiar people. I don't think it had to be a choice. But it's whatever. I mean, Ziff was talking about Peach. Also, he knows about like Florida and old school stuff, so that kind of helps with HBox some. So like, there was a lot of value, especially in like the slower sets. Yeah, I think commentary was mostly very good. I'm okay with Summit style. It doesn't need to be every analytical and play by play. It's like, oh, he hits the nair, he hits the up tilt. Like I can watch it. So I think commentary is fine. There's a couple things where like there was dead air, or like I don't know, it was sometimes not the best chemistry. But I like a lot of these commentators. Like it's cool to see Toph back, Homemade Waffles, like all these guys. So I like the commentary. In terms of the pace, So they did all of round one, all 8 of these matches on the one stream. Then for round two, they did a few of them on the second stream. I forget which ones exactly, but they did like 2, and then they did 4 and 4 for round 3, to where they did the 2-0 and the 0-2s on stream. Then on the 1-1s they did on the side stream. People were questioning that, which I'm like, these are kind of the consequential sets, so I get it. These weren't necessarily the best sets to watch, but I understand why you may feel like, okay, these players are either like done for the day because they won or done for the day because they lost. While all these players you will see at least one more time, so I get it. And at the end of the day, people can just go to the side stream if they want to see it. Like, I think for whatever reason, the majority of people do not know how to go on a second tab and figure out how to see something else. It's very silly. But I mean, people don't even like know there's a bracket link. Like, so the barrier of entry is like, I don't think it's that high, but clearly it's enough to where some people just are not very aware. I think that sometimes there was delays. There wasn't like random delays, I feel like. Also, they had Mogi and RapMonster played later, which kind of like messed up the order a little bit because of how it was organized with the how this was going. To where it was supposed to be like go in order, and to kind of like balance it out, to not have like give people time to prep, not feel like you're super like worn out. You have a little bit of time to relax and chill, but it's not so much to where you're waiting 3 hours for your next set. They kind of balanced it around because Moki apparently did a lot of filming with skits that are coming tomorrow, which I'm very excited about that. So they switched it around, and then he played a little bit later, which is fine. I know some people prefer to do more of their sets like in a block. Like sometimes round robin, you would play like your 3 sets in like a 2 or 4 hour time period, instead of doing it once every couple hours throughout the day. I don't know. I feel like if you're a top level melee player, I think you could have an endurance to play one set like spread out. I don't know. I feel like it should be fine. I understand like Cody's talked about his like medication and how sometimes it can wear off. Other people maybe like prefer to just like want to get it over with. It can be kind of a slow bleed. I think it's fine. Viewership was like, I saw it around like 5K earlier in the day. I think it went up later on. I mean, it's a little unfortunate we don't have the 150K anymore, but it's still cool. Like, I think like people are tapped in, people are aware of it when we share it on like Twitter and stuff. So I think it's fine. Sometimes when they were doing the side streams, it was a little bit challenging to keep track of it all. I had like my laptop and my phone like have it so I didn't have to keep flipping tabs or whatever. But it was just a little bit challenging. The side stream also wasn't also on YouTube. It was only on Twitch. I prefer the YouTube player. I think I mentioned the other day. That just the ability to rewind. So sometimes I would watch the side stream with priority and then be able to rewind the main stream, which is okay. Also, the progressions and how they happened were excellent. This is exactly how Swiss pools should be run. I have a little bit to where like I sometimes do a little bit of reshuffling and balancing and all that, just on because I run a lot of regional Swiss invitationals, and sometimes we do it based off of points. So the hard seeding isn't necessarily like the order. So sometimes I try and kind of restructure it a little bit instead of it being so rigid. But yeah, like very clearly, it's like, okay, this is just like a bracket where winner of this was winner, and then it just goes up. Like this is just like a bracket, but the hardest thing is doing like these is the middle for round 3 and then round 4 and round 5. Like anyone can do round 1, obviously it's just normal sets. You can do round 2, you just divide it in half, and then you do the 4 people that are 2-0, 4 people that are 0-2. And as long as you make it make sense, it's fine. That's easy. This is challenging, and then these 2 are challenging as well. So I think that what they did was correct, because, like for example, you have this first one is Jmook Moki. That seems really top heavy, but in reality, like it should be some kind of person, and also that's kind of based on how it was in the nearby parts, to where someone going up and going 1-0 and then losing going 1-1, that is more impressive than someone losing and then winning, because that win they got is on paper more impressive than, like, it's like winning round 1 and then going like in top 16, then you go to losers top 12 instead of your losers like going to losers round 1 and then going to losers top 12. It is more impressive to get that win earlier in bracket, because that is more like not earlier necessarily because of like earlier rounds, but like to get it in winners than losers, because theoretically the person you beat in winners is harder than the person you beat in losers. So the person coming from the top should play someone coming from the bottom, and that's how it was matched up. They switched it to where, because you didn't want to have it to where it was RapMonster versus Moki again, because it loser of this plays winner of this, but instead they just flipped them to where it was where you had RapMonster play None, and then you had Jmook play Moki. They kept this order, but they traded the top 2 and the bottom 2, because you had Wizrobe playing Sunsei, and you had Joshman playing, Joshman went up. You had Magi playing Salt. Theoretically, some of these could have probably stayed the same, but like a big one would have been RapMonster Moki run back. Like there wouldn't have been a Jmook None run back. There wouldn't have been, I guess Dark Gen X lost, but Wizrobe Salt would not have been a run back, and then Magi Sunsei would have. So 2 of these would have. So theoretically, you could have just switched the top and bottom, and just kept these middle ones alone. But it kind of makes sense to just kind of square it up. So that's fine. And then this one is a little bit weird, because you have 2 players that get 2-0, 2 that go, or 3-0, 2 that go 0-3, and then you have it actually 4-2, and then 2-4 for the top, to where you have 2 people that are coming down and 4 that are coming up. So there has to be 2 from the same round that face each other, and then 1 from up here, 1 from down here to go up here, 1 from down here to go up here. So that's fine. And then they did not do Salt Joshman because they had already played. So Salt had to play either Zane or someone from the tier. Zane had already played, Jmook and None. So Zane couldn't have played None. So like there were certain limitations here, and there's maybe a couple ways you could have gone with it, but this is very reasonable. Like I agree that like there was no unnecessary decision here, where there was 2 really easy people and then 2 really hard people. Like it was well done in the progressions. That's how I agree it should be. I know like League of Legends, they just do like a random draw, as long as you haven't played them before. But it's like you could have, like there was some like Mickey Mouse pass where you were playing another person that had lost and then won, and it's like that's the easy mode of getting there. You're not playing someone, like you should play someone going from the other side to meet you in the middle. You should not go up, you should not go down with someone unless it's impossible and you have to do. And usually it's like 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4. It's usually in the middle. Like Moki Salt being 7, 8, that made sense. You know, like yeah, Joshman None, that seems a little bit off. But like this is a pretty middle of the road set here. So I agree with this. Some of the matches were really unfortunate. Yeah. And then this last one, I was like, okay, the only possibility, if you're still following this, is they actually did it wrong at first, to where they actually had it as Sunsei and they had it wrong. I'm like, oh no, someone realized it, and thankfully they did, because they had it wrong, and then they had realized that the only person that RapMonster can play is Wizrobe, because already played None and Moki. So yeah, that was good. Really entertaining amount of sets. There was a couple that were duds, like Aura Dark Gen X wasn't exactly exciting, but like most sets were good. And I think that how it kind of turned out was pretty interesting. There weren't a ton of upsets. I kind of sorted it here to where, like, technically by seeding, these are the main upsets with Zayn over J Mook. I guess also I forgot about Wizard too. But like these are not technically, like, I would say that big of a deal. Joshman over Salt and Wizrobe. That's pretty good. So Joshman had a losing record to all 3 of these Falcons, and he got wins on all 3 of them. Also took H-Box to game 5. So impressive there. RapMonster got 3 upsets, beating Moki, Sunsei, Wizrobe. Even though that none loss is pretty frustrating and getting 3 by Cody, not fun. Still very good for RapMonster. This last set was insane. Magi beat Sunsei, also beat Dawson. Had a little bit of rough besides that, but it's still looking fine, I'd say. None got that RapMonster win. That was good. Some other sets didn't look too hot. Like, did all right, Zane, for a little bit, but started to get kind of outclassed. Aura did the one game against H-Box was so funny. I feel like Aura was just kind of like, Aura had a rough bracket, but I do think there's definitely still a possibility. Dark Gen X Wizrobe was a heartbreaker. I don't necessarily like Dark Gen X more than Wizrobe. Like Wizrobe is really cool, but like Dark Gen X, sub of the Scream, I've interacted with him in the past. Really close, and like I mean, it was so close, and so definitely really impressive there. Which I know Wizzy lost to Nikki at Egg Dog a couple years ago. So maybe Wizrobe is not the best of the matchup, but did beat Slug in reset of Grands. They traded sets and then won the final set. So it's not like Wizrobe isn't familiar with the matchup. Like, Wizrobe has played ICs before. And then didn't do too hot against Salt. Apparently Salt has a lot of ICs. Success, probably like Banana, stuff like that. Saucy Main took a few of these last stock, but disappointing, didn't really take a game. That was unfortunate. H-Box kind of got an easy run, just in terms of seeding. It was like, here, let me do that just to show that it is in line with the seeding and all that. Like H-Box played against Aura, the 13 seed, Magi the 11, Joshman the 9. Like, yeah, Joshman is ranked 4 or whatever. But, like, this was a pretty easy path. This path was much more challenging. But, yeah. I think overall, how it turned out with Swiss was very good. I did really enjoy it. Yeah, other people like Rishi was, like, on for Zane. And there was some funny commentary there. Like, I like the Summit style where they're just kind of messing around. And one of the apps was kind of funny where, like, so Lucky Stats is kind of competitor with Super Major, and Perry.g is a competitor with StartGG. But one of the Perry.gg ads mentioned that it's synced with SuperMajor.gg, and then Full House is using StartGG, which is put on by Lucky Stats. So it's like there's 2 different rival things there that it's a little bit awkward. It's fine. I think like ultimately like competition can make things better and all that. Also saw Breakfast and showed the trophy and talked about stuff, and that was a nice little moment. They're kind of being silly, but like also just about like humanizing TOs. I think that Ohan has done that more, and other things where the TO is like Deer does that sometimes. I think it's good as a TO. I can appreciate having a little bit of like, you know, letting people in a little bit. You're not just a hooded figure. You're someone that is, you know, trying to have fun, so wanting to do stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I have, they did do doubles, and a few more people joined. H-Box joined, Salt and Cody joined, but most people didn't play. RapMonster, the doubles legend that he is, was able to win this, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I think that like obviously there was 33 sets today, and that's awesome. Final bracket, I might make a different video about this. I think it was not seeded correctly in terms of what it should be valued. Like, I don't like, they did fine. There's no repeat matchups, But I think that Zane should be on this side and Josh Man should be on this side. Because I think when you look at this, you have, like, this is pretty much winner semis, right? To where you have, like, this is winners top 16, winners quarters, this is winner semis. And these players made it in through the next round. So you should seed it as if this is winner semis and flip them. I understand, like, you have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. So you think, like, Zane should be 3, and then, like, Salt and Josh Man be 4 or 5. Oh, they already played, so that means Zane has to be either 4 or 5. And so either Josh Man would stay on HBox's side or Salt. But I think that regardless of that, like, HBox and Cody tied. So in reality, you should, like it's not like this is 3, like this has to be the 2 other 3-and-1s besides this one. Like, you can switch it to have I think because there's multiple different places it could be. I think, like, I had a few different ones. I'll probably post it in a later one. But, like, I think having Zane here and then having Josh Man up here, and then you could switch things around. You could have, like, Josh Man, J-Mook, Zane, Salt, something like that. I think losers is fine. I do feel bad for RapMonster. It seems like there's potentially a hard bracket here. Despite him, I mean, he is a lower seed here, so it's not like he should necessarily be favored. But this feels very HBox favored. And actually, HBox already got a pretty easy path. I understand you can't, like, necessarily pick and choose. Like, you have to be pretty objective. But I feel like objectively you should mix up the 2 winners, semis, like losers, to be against the other person. And again, I'll elaborate at a different time. But this was a great day. This is just nitpicking. Ultimately, I think this bracket is still wide open. Because, like, even RapMonster, if you look at this, like, Aura has a ton of Salt experience in the past year. So Aura could just be done. And then RapMonster could be Aura like he did at Genesis. And then, if he has to worry about Wizrobe, loser of Salt J-Mook, which, if it's J-Mook does very well against Wizrobe. Salt has never beaten Wizrobe, but it is fine in the Falcon Ditto. Wizrobe's actually not that great, the Falcon Ditto currently. Lost to None, like, a year or so ago. So I think that, like, and you could also just beat HBox. And, if you beat HBox, you're taking J-Mook really close. J-Mook is probably favored here. So I would say that, like, I mean, this could be really good. Imagine RapMonster Zane winners finals, and then RapMonster wins that winners out of grands. Like, there's a lot of potential here. It's wide open. I mean, Moki kind of had a little bit of tough here. Like, had a pretty tough path, but Moki has beaten Cody a lot. Cody's had a win streak recently, but before that, Moki had a really favorable record here. I mean, we could see Dark Gen X. I think Soxy Main has a rough path here. Dark Gen X could be Magi. We could see Dark Gen X get on the board. This, I would expect Husei to win. I would expect Aura to win. I think this is 12 and 13. I would have personally seeded them a little bit differently, but for matchups purposes, it makes sense to have Aura and HBox play because they've never played before, and have like None and Zane pretty reasonable. Like, I think the original seeding here was pretty good. Maybe I would have changed a couple things here and there. I think Husei maybe a little bit high, but, like, that's kind of recent, like, confirmation bias, all that. But ultimately, like, this was an amazing a day. Some people kind of skip the day, only wait for a final Sunday. If you skip this day, it was fantastic. I'm probably going to do a full video about, like, the best sets of the weekend. There's going to be, like, 54 sets, I think, something like that. 55, I think. So there's going to be a lot of really good things to watch here. I'm sure there's going to be clips of this on that definitely is going to be there. But also, like, I mean, Moki was great. Dude, RapMonster style, my boy shouldn't say it. Like, that was crazy. Like, but also just, like, Zane was playing electric. Like, yeah, Cody didn't quite go his way, but, like, Zane versus J-Mook, man, that was really good. Zane versus Wizrobe, very good. Like, Zane is playing great. Wizrobe felt a little stiff, but I mean, we could see Wizrobe turn it up. Like he could always turn it back around and go on an amazing run. Like, it's wide open currently. I think some people definitely have more chances. We could see the first Josh Man win over Zane. That would be pretty crazy. I would feel bad for whoever's in losers. I feel like Zane would kind of put a hurting. But even like Zane Dark Gen X, I wouldn't expect that to be like guaranteed. Dark Gen X has gotten much better since they played last. And Zane has a little bit of IC's trouble sometimes. And then, you know, if it's Moki or Cody here, like, we could see Zane Cody losers top 8. Like, there's going to be a lot of great stuff. I encourage you to watch. I think they're all streaming it one at a time. Starting at like noon tomorrow, I think. But, or I'll probably post this in the morning. So noon Eastern. But, yeah, it was awesome. I really appreciate the Lucky Stats guys for putting this on. And, yeah, well, I'm going to keep watching. I hope you do too.